Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Today's question comes from Bethany in Texas. I have been married to a lovely man for 15 years who loves me and adores my son. He is the best dad I could have given to my son. The problem is the finances. I make $180,000 as a nurse practitioner while he makes $30,000. The issue is not really the money, but his lack of ambition to make more of it. He has so much potential. I recently found him a job which will double his salary, but he's just not interested. I love him very much, and I need to know how to let him be, since I realize I cannot make him want to make more money. I feel like when it comes to the financial part of our marriage, he believes that it is my responsibility. I live in fear, knowing that if something happens to me where I die or can no longer work, my family would lose everything. How do I love my husband the way he is since he refuses to change? Brr, Bethany. Yeah, the biggest problem I see here, Bethany, well, number one, I'm glad that you realize you can't control him, because you can't. We can't control other people. And the fact that it sounds like you're his mom. I'm like, you went out and found him a job and you're doing all of these things. You're being proactive. Well, he's obviously not wanting it. So I would say, again, the money's not the issue here. A lot of it is fear that if something happens, are you going to be okay? Is your family going to be okay? And so that's the approach I would take with him. Not, oh, go double your salary. But it's, hey, this is what it's causing in me, and it's feeling like it's becoming it's a wedge between you and him. I mean, it just naturally is. And that fear possibly might be in other parts of your marriage and in your life together. And so that's the way I would approach it more, versus from the money side, more on what it's causing in you. But yeah, I feel like it'll be harsher than.
I read that you don't respect him. That's what I read. And it has nothing to do with the amount of money he makes that causes respect. His lack of personal growth and wanting to do better and wanting to be better. He is a lovely, lazy man, is what I read. And, that's a problem, because that's not going to get, you're not going to suddenly get okay with that. That's going to deteriorate or improve. It's not going to stay right where it is. And so I really think that you guys need to sit down with a good marriage counselor, and then the counselor, hopefully can plug him in with some guys who, some men who are wanting to improve themselves. It's hard to respect a husband or a wife that doesn't, that wants to sit like a blob and not improve. I don't mind if somebody makes $30,000 as long as they're on their way to doing the best version of themselves. As long as they're on their way to growing, learning, getting better, and so forth. And then the symptom of that problem is that if you die, I don't know how y'all are going to lose. Are you lost? If you became disabled, y'all are going to lose everything. You're right, because you've set yourself up on an unrealistic situation with incomes dependent on you. So I think this has gone on for 15 years, and you've tolerated it and held your nose because he's nice, and maybe the guy before that you had the baby with is not nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I don't want him to be not nice, but I do want him to go be somebody.
Well, and the fact, Bethany, I feel like he's not hearing you, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, unless you're not saying anything to him, which would be unhealthy too. But I'm like, there's something there that you don't feel heard. You feel like you're on an island by yourself and you're isolated, and all the responsibilities on you. And that's not a marriage. A marriage is a team. You both are working together. Now, naturally, always when it comes to these kind of not this situation, because this is more extreme, but naturally in a marriage, there's always going to be one who's way more excited to do all the budgeting and all the Excel and look at all the numbers and the rate of return. I mean, there's naturally going to be one of you that's more excited than the other with this money stuff. And that's okay. Like that is great. But the fact that you guys are not on the same page and you're wanting something else from him that he's not even giving you, but also not even giving you the dignity to try to see where you're coming from and meet you even halfway, right? Yeah. I mean, any level of that give and take doesn't seem to be there. So
create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.